Hamoras, everyone! Welcome to Harry Potter and the Boys, a Harry Potter fanfiction podcast by me, Radio Mike, brand new set, brand new house, same old guest. Sammy Garlepp joins me.
Thank you. Round of applause. Thank you.
Well done,
Don't have that sound effect queued up. That's okay. I am back on the pod, Mike. What a thrill.
It is a pleasure to be here. Thank you for... I've moved back to my parents' place temporarily, to everyone wondering. It's not... I haven't failed at life.
No, his mum said it was permanent. His mum just told me it's permanent. He's saying, Mike!
Across the road from my parents' place is a primary school. This is really going to narrow down, because people know what suburb my parents live in, so everyone's going to know now where I live, I think.
Why do people know?
Because there's not many schools in Kew.
Okay, sure.
And Sam arrived basically at school pickup time, so you explain what you said to me when you got here.
When I finally saw you, I said I drove past your house about 25 minutes ago, and just kind of waved, and then just got stuck in the school traffic. The lollipop man's waiting there, waving. I stop.
It's a very busy street.
Everyone's putting on their indicators in the middle of the road, trying to hustle kids into the car. Don't get in my car!
We're just trying to park somewhere.
There's no park, so this has been a long day already.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, let's just wrap it up, I guess. Yeah.
We'll wrap it up. Yeah, that's this week's episode. No, we need to talk about the big thing that happened in both of our lives. Sammy and I have officially gone viral.
Yes, that's right, peasants. We've gone TikTok viral.
Living the good life.
Well, I can't believe it. It was, you put up a TikTok of another Harry Potter and the Boys.
It was from this podcast, but it was not Harry Potter related, so it's good to see that the most successful thing to come out of this Harry Potter themed podcast is a totally unrelated Harry Potter story.
And it was also questionable as to why it was included in the podcast in the first place. It was a story about an Anzac Day assembly at our high school, in which I played last post on the trumpet and someone vomited during it and someone else fainted.
And I think the way it was edited by Pat, who edits all the TikToks...
Well done.
Yeah, it was great. But a lot of people, I think, in the comments were confused about... Because Pat spliced it to me saying, and everyone said vommy Trump, vom Trump.
Yes.
Which was a reference to the book.
Yes.
But it made it sound like you were the one that vomited, and lots of people were commenting in confusion.
Confusion reigned in the comments.
Yeah.
Also, so it has about... Last check, it was like 380,000 views on TikTok and over 100,000 likes. It's the most successful thing I've been a part of.
Me too. 1 in 3 people that saw it liked it. Yeah. That's pretty good.
That's a great strike rate.
So you can check out the TikTok at Radio Mike on TikTok.
But you can see how people get fired up in comment section, because someone commented being like, it's not a trumpet, it's a bugle. And I was like, hey, I played it. It was on a trumpet.
Yeah.
It's on a trumpet, motherfucker.
Traditionally, it's on a bugle, but
you
can play it on anything. You can play it on piano if you wanted to.
Exactly. Anyway, I started getting angry, but I was like, I'm going to start coming back. I didn't. But anyway, now we've made it. So, I mean, I've been walking a bit taller, I'll be honest.
Has your life changed since we went viral?
Oh, massively. I'm getting lots of nods in the street, respectful nods. People saying hello. I'm often saying hello first, but I think younger kids...
You assume they know who you are.
They assume they know who I am. Lots of young kids just looking me up and down.
That's the trumpet guy.
Yeah, doing some kind of hand movements, which I think is a dance or a dab or something, and I'm loving it.
Well,
it's refreshing.
My life has also changed.
Yeah, what's happened to you? Yeah.
No one's obviously brave enough to speak up and say, "G'day, Mike," but you know it's happening.
So you got so big, you had to go back into hiding and move back into your parents' place.
That's why I'm back at my parents', because my address leaked online.
Yeah.
I'm hiding out here in my parents' garage. That's why the walls are brick behind us.
It's a bunker.
But yeah, and I also posted another one a few nights ago, which was also from Harry Potter and the Boys with Jack Post. The James Brayshaw one. Yeah. Again, another viral TikTok from this show, not related to the show.
Harry Potter. And I should also point out that I said, should I repost it on my TikTok? And I did. 71 views.
Cheeky 71.
Just
but
71.
I reckon that's the algorithm going, we've already got this in circulation.
Yeah.
We'll sprinkle it out to a few more people, but if they want it, it is there already.
Yeah, sure.
So
we'll say that. It's
I think that's
it.
it.
Anyway, it's a thrill to be back on Harry Potter and the Boys, Mike.
Thank you.
It's my fourth.
The quad trick, which is the follow-up of the hat trick.
I've never heard anyone say that.
It's a debut on this podcast.
First last. I'd say.
Does your sister listen to this podcast?
Yeah, I think she does.
G'day, Liz Garlepp,
Yeah.
who followed me on Insta.
Yeah.
And she seems really nice.
Well,
I just wanted to do a shout out. That's really cool.
have you guys been talking or?
No, that's the word's just getting out there about the pod, and I think that's
it is.
cool.
It's spreading through the whole Garlepp family.
Mum, Dad, sister.
Yeah,
do you have other siblings?
Yeah, I've got 3 sisters.
So which one listens?
The younger one.
So the 2 older ones
Not interested.
at all?
No.
Any interest?
No.
Or fleeting interest?
No, in fact, I mentioned your name and they said never say that name in this house ever again. They said no.
Oh, wow. That's harsh. Well, as you all know, this is a Harry Potter fan fiction podcast. I guess, what was the last episode you did?
Oh, I can't really remember. I have listened to all of them, though.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. So you're probably the only guest who knows where we're up to.
Yes, which I might say, I feel like I should say that, absolutely they're all very hilarious. Like, I loved Mikey D introducing the accent conundrum.
Yeah.
I think producer Pat had the best Hagrid.
Oh, producer Pat's
We've ever
Hagrid
seen.
impression. Amazing work.
That was great.
Aren't you happy, Sam? Oh my god, your name is Sam! Aren't you happy, Sam? You better go to potions now.
I love it. But most of the time in either in franchises, fanfics, whatever, often or a sequel to a franchise, often the criticism is that the movie might be too fan servicing.
Mm-hmm.
People they seem to pander to the fans.
Yeah. Sort of like the new Star Wars. Oh, it's Han Solo. Oh, look, it's Leia's here now.
Yeah. What I found about this podcast, it's the complete opposite. It is. It's fan disservice. It's a fan slapping. It's like fan slapping in the face.
So it's almost like it's hate service.
Yeah.
It's service for all the people who hate the show.
Because I listen to the podcast. I'm sure listeners of this podcast who are Harry Potter fans are listening, and I'm yelling at the podcast, going, "No!
Oh, with what?
Josh pairing was hilarious.
Oh yeah.
But when even the finito quotronum. And it's like,
like all the answers to Finito.
I'm like, here we go. This is the easiest quote ever of,
Snape
takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to your enemies.
And I believe Josh Herring said, as evidenced here by
a great deal more to stand up to your friends.
Yeah,
which
amazing.
Iconic quote. And it reminds my girlfriend. I was saying she'd never seen Lord of the Rings, and
neither have I.
Oh.
Never seen or read Lord of the Rings.
What?
Just never happened for me.
Oh, right.
Are you interested? I really want to watch it. I just don't have anyone to watch it.
Well,
would you want to do a...
I did say I'd watch it with my girlfriend, because she's never seen it.
And I can't?
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so.
I'll leave at the end.
Yeah. Anyway. She goes, oh no, I know a bit about it though. And this was like, because Josh was like, yeah, I've seen the movies and stuff, but then seemed to know nothing about them.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, I know a bit about it. Like, I know Gollum. I'm like, yeah.
He's actually Gollum.
Yeah.
Gollum is a Pokemon. It's pronounced Gollum.
Gollum, okay, thanks. And she's like, yeah, he's the you shall not pass. I'm like,
that's Gandalf.
That's what I said. I was like, that's not. She's like, yeah, it's Gollum. He stands in the middle of the thing and yells. I'm like, that's Gandalf. She's like, then who the hell's Gollum? I'm like,
Gollum's the My Precious.
I know. I know. I'm like, you've got it so wrong.
No.
She's like, no, that is. She's like, no, it's Gollum. I'm like, no, it's not.
Well, I really want to watch him. So me, you, and Mel will check him out together.
Yeah, and get some pasta. That's a different podcast.
I know you brought a notepad. Is there any more notes that you've written down that you want to address before we get into the double F?
There was. I did hear. Because I was thinking about this again, listening to the pod.
Yeah.
There was one a while ago where you said maybe it was Derek or Harold was walking around singing.
The Teletubbies theme?
No, there was one where they were singing. You Raise Me Up, to the theme of American Idiot.
Yeah.
And then I had that stuck in my head.
Do you want to perform it for us?
Yeah, I better because then I thought about it and it got stuck in my head and I kept singing it.
To any future guest of this pod, I would love this much attention to detail from guests in the future.
If I can remember
Sam.
how it goes. Yeah, it's
So it's like da 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 da.
You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be.
Amazing. Oh, so good. But that is amazing.
Anyway,
that's what they were singing in the book. You brought that to life for everyone.
Because at the time I was like, surely Mike's going to sing it. He didn't.
No, because I couldn't even think of it. Like my brain couldn't even get to the point that you just got to. Like I was just like, I remember being like, oh, I'm gonna have to sing it, but I was like, I just can't get to that point.
Yeah, it took me a while. I'm almost unemployed, so it took a long time.
Yeah, fair enough. Anything else?
I'm sure it'll just come up. Let's just get started. My fourth appearance, my Goblet of Fire.
Yes.
Which I assume if you've got a fourth book, I'm sure it's called Gobbies of Fire or the Gobbies on Fire or...
I don't think, not to get into smart, but in Year 7, I don't know if Gobbies was...
Sorry. Yeah.
I'm not going to say it wasn't invented. I'm sure it was invented. I don't think people that in my year started saying that till around Year 9.
Yeah.
And it is a very juvenile way of referring to it, isn't it?
Anyway, the Gobbies of Fire.
Or the Gobbies of Farter.
Oh,
that would be
more
similarly. Yeah. Anyway, let's dive into the fanfic. Alright, we are back. We took a little bit longer because my computer managed to turn itself off, which is a little bit annoying, but here we are.
That's fine, Mike. I've got all the time in the world.
Sounds like after that performance, the Westlife Green Day mashup. We reconvene at the next chapter, which I believe is like chapter 23 or something.
Now, I think I speak for everyone when we say there surely can't be that many left.
I mean, we are getting close to the end of the book, but like, there's still, I think we'll still have 2 more months on this book, to be honest.
This is incredible that you managed to...
Not really, like have you noticed that the font size is centered as well? Like, yes. Sorry, not the font size, the font is centered.
Yeah, it's centered on the page, yes.
We're actually up to chapter 24.
But is this the first chapter 20... Because didn't you do 2 chapters?
But like this is chapter 24.
Okay.
Right? And if we want to just do a quick recap, last week the chapter was about exams at Hogwarts, and through the potions exam, Mr. Charger threatened Michael and Tom not to say anything about his involvement with Boris Mailman and Dragon Mailboy, which has really scared them. And also, we got the introduction to Aren't You Happy Sam.
Aren't You Happy Sam? It's just so good.
So the boys went to visit Hagrid again, and he said, Aren't You Happy Sam? That's pretty much it.
And last episode was the one with the slight audio issues.
There were some audio issues. Those are fixed. They will not happen this week.
It's still a great listen. The other great thing is when things... like jut out.
Oh, sorry,
Mike just dropped his laptop.
Dropped the laptop. Sorry,
oh my god.
It's all like, we're in a new recording environment.
Wow,
everything's
Mike.
a bit topsy-turvy today.
You'd better go to potions now.
Wait, I don't think potions are going to bloody help me. No,
when the audio was cutting out, if audio cuts out, I think we always give you the benefit of the doubt, as in, you assume you've missed out on something really funny, whereas probably it was just something like this, which isn't that funny.
It was just something like this, I will pass the laptop over to you.
Yes.
Based on the name of this chapter, I'm assuming this may not be an eventful one, but we will see how we go.
And it's going to be good. It's going to be great.
Well,
and as always,
we will start by reading the name of the chapter. So, Sam Garlepp,
which I'm glad you said.
Please take it away with chapter 24 of Harry Potter and the
Boys. You really looked at me like I had to say that. I felt like I had no choice but to speak with you. I didn't want to.
What do we got here?
Chapter 24. I've already fucked it.
He's already stuffed it.
Fuck. Can we switch? I'm kidding. Chapter 24. The chapter with no subject, just to fill some pages. why we're at the 24th chapter. Everyone's begging for the end.
It's like this is what you'd think. I don't know if you ever watched Dragon Ball Z, but
occasionally, yeah.
Lots of filler episodes.
Oh,
where nothing
yeah.
happens. And you'd think in the planning meeting over in Japan, they're like, all right, guys, episode 912, the episode where nothing happens just to fill some time.
They're like, great, let's do a few recaps, and then just basically hook for next week from until
Or something might happen.
Yeah.
This chapter is called the chapter with no subject, just to fill some pages.
I do remember that now watching Dragon Ball Z. I'm like, I remember because it was on every morning.
Yeah,
I was like, why is it for the last 2 weeks we've been in the same fight? Like, often I think Goku or Gohan is holding the same...
Charging up a beam.
Kamehameha.
Yeah.
But I'm like, they've been holding the same beam for like 2 weeks because the episode's just...
Yeah. And again, never has J.K. Rowling done a chapter where it's like, this chapter is just to fill some pages. But I like the honesty, because often filler in media is disguised to be important, but this author just goes, hey guys, just so you know, this chapter is just a filler chapter.
Yeah, if you want to tune out for a bit, because sometimes you tune out while you're reading and then you have to reread it.
Yeah,
don't reread this bit. It doesn't matter.
Just scan your eyes across
it.
You get
you get the gist. Alright, here we go. We've got through the title. The term was flying by, and the boys had not found out anything about Mr. Charger. Oh, fuck. I've forgotten how to read.
That's alright, man.
The term was flying by, and the boys had not found out anything about Mr. Charger, Boris Mailman, and the Shaft of Light. Everything at Hogwarts was very quiet and not random at all. Just normal.
Not random at all.
You know all that random stuff that's been happening?
It is actually an apt description of what's been happening, but like, I've just never heard anyone be like, oh, how have you been? Oh, you're good, not random.
Not random. Nothing random has been happening.
Very, very structured, if anything.
Everything has been happening in sequence as planned.
No randomness. What? No, nothing out of the blue. Zero random.
No, nothing.
Exactly as it should be.
Every time the weather forecast has been exactly as... Yeah, everything's fine.
I have never walked out of my house with a t-shirt and felt cold. I never have. No randomness.
For some reason I was like, I've never walked out of my house with a t-shirt and nothing else. And I was like, yeah, why do that? There's nothing more disturbing than seeing a man wearing a t-shirt and nothing else.
It's kind of cute. It's cute for a girl, because often the t-shirt kind of becomes a dress if it's big enough.
Yes.
For a guy. You've always got a dangly...
Well, there's a term for it, and I think it's called a cock top. And it's just when a little bit of penis is hanging out of a t-shirt, and it's the most disturbing thing, I think. Even if you're in private, I don't encourage you to have a look, but sometimes I'm like, when I'm getting dressed, I'm like, no, the t-shirt is not going on first. I don't want to risk, because imagine I put t-shirt on first, and then suddenly there's a fire, someone bursts in, and I've got to run out, and I'm just cock topping it.
Guys, send in your most embarrassing cock top moments. We'll play them on next week's episode. You know what? For the thumbnail this week, we should cock top. So after this, we'll just take all our clothes off except our shirts.
No, if you have a look at the artwork this week, I think we'll find
our little Easter egg. Alright, so nothing random's been happening in the book.
Yeah, so this really is. So the term's gone. So I feel like we went through 1 term or 2 terms.
Yeah.
And now the 3rd term is apparently flown by in the space of 5 lines.
And I guess with JK, all the terms were featured. She never was like, alright, term 3, pretty normal, here's term 4.
Or, the other thing is, you don't have to address... Seems like you're trying to put in a chapter to say time has passed. Whereas, you could just put in the next chapter and go, it was now... Sorry, Bob.
I know, but it is the chapter with no subject to fill some pages, and so far we've filled half a page.
That's true.
With 1 sentence.
The chapter with no subject... This feels like the podcast no subject so far. But the boys continued doing their classes, even though they had done exams in the last chapter.
Which I did point out, it was interesting they came back from holidays to do exams.
Yeah, the worst
setup.
Oh, the timeline of that doesn't really make sense around the context of the book.
Context with no T on the end, so, yeah.
Sorry, the timeline of that doesn't really make sense around the context of the book, but I guess that's just how it is.
From the narrator. I guess that's how it is. Doesn't make sense, but that's how it is.
But, like, you've written it, so, like, you assume there's no editing whatsoever going on, because, like, you're like, all right, well, I wrote the last chapter, there's no possible way, before releasing this, that I can go back and change the timeline.
Well, Virginia Woolf was well known for her stream of consciousness writing, and I like to think that so was Mike Liberali. I think that was his his writing style. Just stream of consciousness, little full stops, 24 size font, just like Virginia.
So you're up there with Virginia Woolf, JK. Yeah. As I've said before, this writing's quite Dickensian.
Yes.
I find. Okay, this is the text from the book. Wait, stop for one sec. Why did they do exams last chapter if that wasn't the end of the year?
Yeah, well, that's a good point for the narrator to bring up, because it really does throw a spanner in the works. Like, you would assume that exams happen at the end of the year. End of the school year.
Can't. Like, every time I come in here, I think, look, it'll just be a normal chapter, I'll read it. Nothing stupid will be written. But it continues.
Well, just like real Harry Potter books, to be honest.
I was like, JK, you idiot.
Quidditch? What's that? I thought this was a book with nothing stupid in it.
So why did they do exams last chapter if that wasn't the end of the year? I guess I don't know. Now this is a quote, but you're the narrator, said Tom.
Possibly the first time in the book that the characters in the book have directly communicated to the narrator.
This is wrinkling my brain. Like, how...
It is interesting, isn't it?
Many more layers can you just...
Because, like, they have in previous chapters acknowledged that they know they're in a book, but never have they actually gone, but you're the narrator. That's never happened, so this is a first.
Yeah, are they looking up? Are they looking up at you? Or are they... Like,
or are they, like... is there a stage?
Yeah, is it like a high school play where the narrator sits at the front?
It's the head of drama,
the head of drama,
making sure everyone does
the
their
audience.
lines.
Yeah.
I like to think they're looking up, because I like to think the narrator is this god figure.
Yeah, and obviously you would like to think for yourself as the god figure, being the writer and narrator.
I don't know if I am the narrator. I'm certainly the writer, but I don't know if I'm the narrator. Like, right now, you're the narrator. Which is interesting.
Which means I am God. And I will now start changing the chapter.
No,
just kidding. You're the narrator, said Tom. Well, that doesn't mean I know everything about the story.
And also, that's not in quotation.
No.
So it's not... The narrator isn't a character. It is very much the narrator.
Oh my god. This is just a ridiculous... Okay. Okay. Doesn't mean I know everything about the story, which is a classic, someone who is just writing it, stream of consciousness, no idea, no plan for the end of the book. Also, stay out of my thoughts.
But I guess the characters... I guess Tom, who says you're the narrator, heard everything the narrator says. So it's like, how can they stay out of the narrator's thoughts when the narrator is actually narrating their whole life?
And by continuing to read or narrate
the book,
that's how their life continues. And if you do stop narrating to that, they
stands around.
They stand around waiting for the...
While he keeps narrating.
Yeah. Waiting while he keeps narrating. Okay. Oh my god. Also, stay out of my thoughts. Do you just sit there every day listening to what I'm saying? Because I'll call the police if you continue that behaviour any further. I'm entitled to narrate without you eavesdropping on me. Like...
So many questions here, because, like, is there a separate police for narrator? Like, is he in a different plane of existence to them?
Well, now it's like we're getting into George Orwell territory. 1984, the Thought Police. Yeah. So we are getting that now.
And I like to think that even though I didn't study 1984 till year 10 at our school, I do like to think that I was channeling a bit of Orwell here. And a bit of Animal Farm, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. All animals are created equal, but some are created more equal than others.
The narrator, the characters.
That's it. Okay. You're going to call the police. Which is also such a...
And what do you say? Police, fire, ambulance. Please. Transferring you. Hey, so the characters in the book I'm currently narrating are eavesdropping on my narration.
Okay, right. So, sorry. And are you in any danger
No, I'm just offended by the gravity of the situation. I'd like my thoughts to be private.
Oh, so they're harassing you or bullying.
Yeah, harassing. Ongoing abuse.
Look, this is for emergencies only. So
I'll give you the non-emergency number. There is one.
There is one. One. No, okay. Okay. It was also such a childish, like, I'm gonna call the police on you. I'm gonna call the police on you guys.
Also very adult. Adults do call the police.
That's so true. That is so true, Mike. And we are just breaking ground here.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this one is in quotes. But how would we know what is going on if you weren't narrating? Asked Sam eloquently. And said Sam eloquently.
Ooh,
got it.
Never has a book reflected real life so well.
But how would we know what is going on if you weren't narrating? Because you look around, Sam.
But that's kind of what you were saying. Whereas, like, if he's not narrating the book, they're just standing there and life doesn't happen.
It is funny to think that if they're walking around and it's like the narration is just playing over the loudspeakers at the school, everything is happening. Like,
well, just imagine it's just coming from the sky.
Yeah.
But then, I guess, is the narrator only narrating the book? Or is the narrator narrating everything? Because then there'd just be so much different direction.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm imagining maybe the narrator's gonna be like Into the Woods.
Yes.
Into the Woods musical.
Oh, yeah.
I believe the narrator then is a character in the second act.
It's kind of like Lemony Snicket. Do you know the series of unfortunate events?
Which you ripped off in the
sequence. Yeah, so in that book series, which is written by Lemony Snicket, but the real author's name is Daniel Handler, but Lemony Snicket, you begin to find out that Lemony Snicket is a character in the world, and he's the one telling the story. I wonder if it's going to be like that. Highly doubt it.
Okay. How do we know what's going on if you were narrating? What? I'm narrating what you are doing. You're not doing what I'm narrating. You guys don't seem to have any idea how books work, do you?
So I guess we're in a chicken and the egg kind of situation. Like, is he narrating what they're doing, or are they doing what he's narrating?
I'm also thinking that a lot of people will be angry at this point because nothing Harry Potter related has happened. This is just a chapter where we're just talking about how narrating works.
Yeah. Sorry about that, everyone.
This feels like a little writing exercise you could have done outside the book.
I could have, yeah.
Oh, here we go. What the fuck? Okay. Avada Kedavra, said Falco from Lilac Wars. Who the fuck is that? What's Lilac Wars?
Oh, this is a great
What's Lilac Wars?
It's a great little time capsule.
What the hell is Lilac Wars?
Okay, I'm getting to it.
I don't like
That's so funny. So Lilac Wars is a game on Nintendo 64 that was known everywhere except Australia. It was called Star Fox 64. Do you know Star Fox?
Don't know any of these.
Okay, so Star Fox is a game series where you play as this fox who has a space team called Star Fox, and one of his co-pilots is called Falco, who has somehow made his way from the Nintendo 64 universe to the Harry Potter universe in what can only be described as one of the most amazing crossovers in the history of fiction. A secondary character from an old video game is now possibly a new primary character in one of the most successful franchises in the world.
Yeah. You said something a couple of weeks ago as well on this podcast. Someone asked you, what nerdy stuff are you into? And you're like, just this. You're into heaps of nerdy stuff.
What else am I into? I guess Star Fox 64.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. No, so this is cool.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, so Falco's mate, Falco from Lilac Wars. Shout out to...
So, and just so you know, Falco is he is a blue bird. An anthropomorphic bird. A blue falcon.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he speaks with a Brooklyn accent. So he would have been like, Avada Kedavra. That more like that. Yeah.
Avada Kedavra.
Yeah, that's Falco's. Yeah. So he's also American. Like how he got. Well, I guess he's a space pilot.
Are there any American characters in Harry Potter movies?
Well, the Fantastic Beasts series is set in America.
Yeah,
The
but
movie series, but in the OG, the only OG movie character who was well, there was no American character, but there was one American actress who was the daughter of Christopher Columbus, who played Hannah Abbott, I believe.
wow. Like that, we can...
Knows about Falco, knows about Hannah Abbott.
Yeah.
Ladies,
Wow.
wow. Cute. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Okay. Falco from Lilac Wars, and shout out to all our Lilac Wars fans. If you want to read Mike's fanfic about Lilac Wars, that's a new podcast. Okay, Avada Kedavra said Falco from Lilac Wars, and a boy called Stampede died.
I've had enough.
Don't tell me Stampede isn't from another...
No, Stampede. It's just a boy whose name.
It's Stampede.
That doesn't work, does it?
That's a cool name, I'll be honest.
What should we call him? Jessica? Nah, Stampede.
Sorry, what should we call him?
That's breaking down gender
ridiculous.
boundaries, man.
Yeah, exactly. Kevin? Stampede.
Yeah, I like Stampede.
I like too. Why did Falco just kill Stampede? I can't be sure.
Why did Voldemort kill Cedric? I can't be sure. I can't be sure about that one. Possibly because he didn't want him there at the time. It's hard to say. I'm J.K. Rowling.
Who's this guy? Well, I guess he's a spare character. Much like Stampede is spare. What on earth is going on? Asked Michael. Who is Falco?
So Michael very much taking the role of the leader here.
And since when is there a character in the book called Stampede?
Which is another thing you could say, like, Stampede has not appeared at any point prior to this.
Well, it is tragic for Stampede that he is introduced and killed in the same line, in the same breath.
That happened in an earlier chapter with a character called Keaton. So the boys were walking to class and they're like, what do we got next? And Keaton, a character who till that point had not appeared, this was his debut in the book, his big moment, and Keaton goes, oh, we got potions. And then it literally, almost shot for shot like this, it just said, Avada Kedavra, said God, and Keaton was killed.
Oh no! Unless we forget that, was it 200-300 kids that got sat on by Hagrid in the first chapter?
But they weren't named, so we don't really feel as bad for them.
Okay, who is Falco, and since when is there a character called Stampede in the book? Who named him? Scar from The Lion King?
A nice little cross-reference because Scar obviously orchestrated the famous stampede in The Lion King.
Oh.
So that is a good little cross-reference there.
Yeah, but, well, you're saying good because you wrote it. It's not that good.
It's like if in
you set yourself up, like you're writing it, so you set yourself up for that joke.
That's true. But again, in this isn't an analogy. This is like if in Harry Potter there was a character called Jesus Jones, and JK's like, who named him? The bloody Bible?
What are his parents, Mary and Joseph? Oh. I'm gonna move on. The boys decided to ignore the entire fiasco around Falco and Stampede.
Which everyone should.
And continue to live their lives as normal as possible, despite the narrator.
Cool.
Well, maybe if you narrated us living normal lives, we could just bloody live them, asked Scar from The Lion King.
Who has made his way again from another cinematic universe, the Disney universe.
But this kind of makes sense because in an earlier chapter I was reading, Simba did appear.
That's right. I was thinking about that.
So this makes sense, really.
And we get an insight. We get an insight to what's front of mind to Mike at this point.
Yeah.
He's in year 7 at school. Mm-hmm. He's writing Harry Potter fan fiction, going home watching The Lion King, and playing Lilac Wars.
I'm playing. It's really more of a biography, isn't it?
Well, J.K. Rowling, included parts of her life in the book. Snape was based on a teacher.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he was a teacher.
And he was a teacher in the book.
And anyway, Scar. Okay, Scar from Lion. Falco killed Scar instantly with a killing curse and disappeared back into the game.
So Falco has murdered Scar, who we thought was already dead in the Lion King, and he's gone back to his game universe. Okay. Where he belongs.
But now left with using the bloody carcass of a lion in the middle of the room.
Well, probably not bloody because the killing curse is it's not like a blood curse, it just kills you. So it would just be the carcass of a lion.
People think maybe he's just asleep.
Could be asleep.
But he's not.
That's kind of what Simba thought about Mufasa. Anyway.
Okay.
It's not a Lion King podcast, mate.
Yeah, well, I wish. Turning into one. Alright. Mr. Charger was still being his normal self during potions classes, regularly insulting students and making them eat poo as punishment for getting questions wrong. We're back. We're back.
We're very much back.
We've gone a long way this chapter without mentioning poo, and I was waiting for it.
And, good to see that Hogwarts is no longer using corporal punishment.
Oh, yeah.
Just other forms of abuse.
Yeah, just eating fecal matter.
Yeah.
I like it. That's a way of... Yeah, that's a great way of punishing people. Okay, one day... Okay. One day he had diarrhea, misspelled, but still.
Oh, no.
One day, it's a very hard word to spell. I don't think I could even
diarrhea. Well, I've spelled it D-I-A-R-E-A, which is definitely wrong.
Yeah.
Doesn't it have an O in it somewhere?
Oh, yeah. It's got it. I think it's got all the vowels.
Yeah, it doesn't have a U.
It's got an H.
It's got a H somewhere. Send in your best attempt at spelling diarrhea. No correct. Autocorrect.
Yeah, no autocorrect. Alright.
What?
We'll edit that out. We won't. Mike also had diarrhea earlier, but we edited that out.
Yes.
Okay, things about Mr. Charger. One day, he had diarrhea, and that was one of the worst days in class for everybody, because there was an extra hard potion being taught that day. The idiot potion, which turns you into an idiot.
Yeah, we're very much back. Very much back. And can you think about, how does that potion work?
How does that potion work?
Are you just going like 10 times 10, 100, and then you take the potions like 5 times 5, 64! I'm an idiot!
Or is it kind of like, what's a confundus charm? Is it confundus? Doesn't that just make you a bit...
Yeah, it makes you a bit... I don't
know.
Yeah. But I would think of an idiot potion as like, it makes you sort of be like...
Yeah.
I can say.
Turns you into the kid from the Wild Thornberrys.
Yeah. Turns you into Donnie. Who was voiced by Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Another little tidbit.
I think, I can't say I knew that. I would say that it was, I've been told before, but it's hard to say you knew it, because if you asked me who voiced it, I wouldn't be able to say.
Yeah. That's a fun game. Did you know this fact? And you say a fact and the person has to be like, yeah, I think I knew that.
Yeah.
It's a fun game.
Because often you say something, people go, oh yeah, I knew that. But it's like, if you put it in the form of a question, they wouldn't know.
Exactly, yeah.
Shut up, you people. And,
some of those people need a idiot potion.
It's like doing a little trivia thing. Be like, oh no, I knew that one. Well, why did you say it then? Why didn't you fucking say it? Because we got it wrong. Anyway, pub trivia's back and I'm fine with it. Alright, so the potion that turns people an idiot. Mailboy had come back to the classes and had been sorted into Slytherin House. Oh.
Okay, so you obviously know Mailboy has mysteriously reappeared after his apparent death in Chapter 4. Oh my god, that's reminded me of the thing from earlier on Josh's episode of when he... this is the fan slapping in the face thing of... we say, oh yeah, Cedric, my boy Cedric, from Hufflepuff. He's like, oh yeah, Cedric, and he died at the bottom of the lake. And you're like, no, he didn't die at the bottom. He didn't. And he's like, oh, no, but he ended up on the ocean floor. No. He was at one point in that book in the ocean or in the lake.
Josh was like, no, that happened.
Oh, the phone's ringing. Hey guys, can you stop doing this podcast?
Keep it down in there.
So, do we just let it ring out?
Well, I'm not going to answer it.
Yeah, it's my house. It's probably for my parents. Alright, let's keep going. Okay. Sorry guys, sorry about this.
That's sued. I don't know, whoever owns Harry Potter. You're like, you're finally being sued. Okay. Where are we? Oh yeah.
Mailboy had come back to classes.
Yeah, there was still no explanation for why he was able to come back to life. But when you think about it, does it actually need one? Falco from Lilac Wars just came and killed a character. There's nothing really normal about this book.
One of the truest statements. This book is not random. It's very random.
It's very random. It's not normal.
It's not normal.
It's not even... I wouldn't even classify it as a book, really. I mean...
It's a meandering of scattered thoughts
it's a collection
of a boy.
Thoughts and fantasy and
incoherent musings of the mind of a child. Oh god.
But yes, sorry to answer the narrator. Yes, it does need a bloody explanation. We can't give no explanation. And here we go. This is what we expect.
It's like if I'm trying to think of a Harry Potter analogy for it. It's like if you never find out who put Harry's name in the Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you do find out who did it in the books in extensive detail and how it happened. But it'd just be like if that was never resolved.
Because it was, what's his name?
Barty Crouch Jr.
Barty Crouch Jr.
Yeah.
David Tennant. I knew it. No, I knew it was Barty Crouch.
Did you? Did you know that fact?
I knew that. Yeah. Well, I hate that in the movies when they don't. Anyway.
Don't explain it. Yeah.
Or like Dumbledore, they never had that chat on the in the weird between.
Oh, the in-between world. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't really understand that either.
Yeah.
Okay. Malboy was exactly like Draco Malfoy. He was blonde and annoying, but you can't help but like the little guy.
You look at him, you're like, oh, you little shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You cheeky shit.
Oh, look at this kid. Oh, he's annoying, but hey, we love him. He's a little scruff.
You can't help but like this little guy.
Alright. He like throws poo at something like, scram, you little. Get out of here.
Little brats, I'm gonna call you dad.
Get out of here, kids. Who's gonna clean that? I'll do it.
But also, again, Rowling never used the technique of, Harry is a bit like Luke Skywalker. If you've seen those movies, a few similarities. So there's a framework for you. But it's like, as if we didn't already pick up that Malboy is the Malfoy of this book.
Yeah.
Just in case you didn't see, here it is explicitly said to you.
But I also think that younger me, we probably didn't like Malfoy, but you seem to...
You can't help but like him.
You got a soft spot for him. He's got his place. Alright. He told everyone that he had really been frozen in time by the freezing cold water back in chapter 4, or whatever fucking chapter that was.
The author has just given up. Whenever I fucking wrote this shit.
And I'm not going to go back and look.
So I need to readjust.
So Mike just stood up and kicked the microphone.
No, I was trying to readjust my posture.
Oh.
Sorry, man.
I won't be doing that. Stay away from me. But I do, I like that at no point do you go back and look at what you've already written.
It's just like, it's good enough.
I don't know if you knew at the time. You just said that we don't know anything about books, or the people and the characters don't know anything about books. I don't know if you might have thought there was a rule. You can't look at what you've written previously.
You can't go back.
Which is not a rule.
Yeah.
That's editing.
J.K. Rowling just had a great memory for everything that happened. She knew it all.
So he told everyone he'd been frozen in time. His claim was that he never actually died and was literally frozen, sort of like in Futurama.
So many intertextual references. Obviously, Fry in Futurama was frozen. He wasn't dead. He was frozen in place for 1,000 years. Then he was unfrozen and came back to life.
Which I'm glad you explained to me in person. But in the book, you thought it was so obvious, you didn't explain it. Just like in
the assumption that everyone has seen Futurama, I guess. Yeah.
He said that Mailman had realised he was able. Sorry. He said that Mailman had realised he was still alive by their father-son bond, and
which I guess is like the motherly love thing in Harry Potter.
Yeah, so
maybe this is related to that.
I think that'd be I think
that's fair. Like a father knows his son is still alive.
Yeah, sure. I feel like they have that in movies. Like I can sense it. No, you can't.
There's no.
It's called denial.
Yeah.
You're in denial, and just. In the movies, the stories that are chosen to be made to movies, you're in denial and you happen to be right. Yeah. Whereas there's a million other stories people are in denial and they're wrong. They are dead. They're dead. And you have to accept that. Start moving on with your life. Pick up the pieces of your broken life. And
move on.
And move on.
Progress.
Yeah, this is it now.
That could have been Mailman, but luckily Mailman is one of the lucky ones.
It's one of the lucky
Because
ones.
he was right.
Yeah. And so he realised, that, what's his, Mailman had realised.
Can I interrupt something again?
Please.
I mean, what would this podcast be
without interruptions? And we love interruptions because it gives us a chance to stop reading this putrid chapter.
So, but it's like, the way this is being narrated is making it sound like this is what Mailboy said happened.
Yeah.
Like, this is sort of like the logical thing that we can conclude happened. Like, but the narrator's like, oh yeah, he said this. He knows if it's true.
I don't know. I'm just the all-knowing narrator. The somewhat knowing narrator. Alright, he said that Mailman realised he was still alive by their father-son bond and dove into the lake of Hogwarts to find him frozen in there.
Commitment as a father.
Yeah, that's nice. That is when Mailman harvested the body from the ice and used a heating charm to basically bring Mailboy back.
The vagueness of
yeah,
pretty much the heating charm.
He harvested the body. That's strange.
From the ice, I guess.
But that seems like a old right-click thesaurus kind of thing. What you've done, synonyms
It's like he
for.
harvested his organs.
Yeah. And I've lost.
He's lost the mouse, guys. Another interruption, which is good. It gives us a bit of time.
Heating charms are very hard and are usually made for sausages or other types of food that need to be heated up.
This is the chapter where somehow the book becomes a parody of itself, which you didn't think could happen in a book of this caliber.
You're making fun of yourself. And now we're making fun of you years later, making fun of yourself.
And we're supposed to believe that a charm that is used to heat sausages restores life to a boy. Which, I said to Josh Bering, I think, so much of the Harry Potter books are about death being an irreversible thing. But in this book, hey, heat up some sausages, you might get your son back.
And just do it. He probably brought some snacks that day as well. I was like, I'm doing the heating. Because apparently...
I might as well.
I can't believe that the charm to heat up sausages, apparently heating charms are very hard. It seems that should be an easy one. And why would you bother using a difficult spell to heat sausages up?
Yeah. Why wouldn't you... Yeah, surely it would be one of the simplest spells.
Yeah, or else you wouldn't use it.
You'd buy a microwave.
You'd buy a microwave.
Mm.
Or use fire or a stove.
Mm-hmm.
As they might do in the Harry Potter world. Okay. This charm, heating charms, they aren't used for people.
Maybe it's supposed to be usually used.
They aren't used for people. So at first, Mailman wasn't having any luck and was beginning to become angry at Hogwarts for allowing this to happen to their son. Oh, I'm so angry at Hogwarts. I'm trying to...
This sausage smell won't bring my son back.
Why isn't this defrost charm working? Defrost! God damn it. Said Michael. He was eavesdropping on the narrator again and was beginning to put some things together about the book. Oh, okay.
Harry Potter. Oh, no, Harry stepped out of the pensieve. He was beginning to put some things together about the books. Snape loved his mum. They finally got it. All the evidence was there. Go back and read them.
But no, this is more like Harry didn't see Malfoy hiding in the cupboard. And then Harry going, what? Oh, Malfoy, Malfoy's in the cupboard.
Yeah.
Thanks, narrator.
Harry didn't know that Ginny had written the message on the wall in blood.
Oh, it was Ginny.
We should investigate that. Thank you.
Thank you. That's gonna save a lot of time.
Yeah.
Probably wrap up the movie
Now,
really.
Because we'll sort it all out off camera. It's pretty
No
private
point.
for Ginny.
You guys can all go home. That's a wrap. Well done, guys. Oh, thanks, Harry. Thanks, Daniel. Said Michael. He goes, that actually makes sense now. Oh, fuck, Mike. Alright. Well, what do you mean, said Tom. Well, back in chapter 11, if you go read that again... this is a quote. Well, back in chapter 11, if you go read that again, we saw a man with long grey hair standing with Mr. Charger and yelling at Hermione that he was going to sue the school.
And that did happen. That's not a lie. I do remember that happening, and it was confusing who it was and what was going on.
It was a man long grey... Oh, okay. Now that I look back on this memory with the knowledge of what the narrator just told us, it's clear to me that it was actually Boris and he was threatening to sue Hogwarts for letting Mailboy die.
Now, I would like to say that is a nice little, attention to detail thing. Like, previously, it's like, Quirrell had the turban for the whole book. Only at the, you just think that's just how he is, but only at the end do you find that was concealing Voldemort. Now this happened earlier in the book, now we're finding out why.
Yeah, I mean, the whole time you're thinking he's just misappropriating a religion or people without any consequences.
Yeah, there you go. So Mr. Charger wanted to sue the school because... And I would agree, they are responsible for the death. Mr. Charger hasn't really done anything evil.
And many other children. They could get a class action going, I'm sure.
He's leading the charge. Come on, parents, let's sue the school. Oh, I don't know. The kids, who cares?
I feel like we're just in denial at this point. It's just in denial. Said everyone in the book, as well as all the people reading the book currently. And then there's an asterisk. Another asterisk in bracket, reader participation required. So now everyone has to, encourage you.
So it's like when there's like an asterisk on it, like $59.99 asterisk, and then down the bottom it's like, plus extra charges and terms and conditions apply. So it's like, you see the asterisk, it's like, reader participation for everyone in the book to say,
So I guess if you are listening to the... Because it says we're meant to do it as well. So if you're listening to the podcast, you are therefore kind of reading it.
Yeah.
So I would I would expect that everyone listening to this now is going,
that does make sense from before.
And if you don't, it says it's required. So if you don't, I'm assuming we don't continue unless it's
so we're going to take their word for it.
Just take a moment, let everyone get there.
Yeah. And we'll continue.
Assuming we're done. All right. The homework was sorry, just completely keeps going. The homework is building up for term 2, and everyone...
Term 2? I thought we were
What the hell? This doesn't make sense.
It can't be term 2, because then they would have had one term, gone on holidays, had exams at the start of term 2, and now there's more homework.
Oh my god.
We're not even halfway through the year.
Oh my god. The homework's building up for term 2, and everyone was working until about 1 o'clock in the morning. Unfortunately, Rob and Sam still weren't talking to Michael and Tom, and neither was Hagrid. That's from,
We are learning a bit in this chapter, particularly about Malfoy.
Yeah. Especially from what they said that it was just a filler. We needed that explanation.
Yeah, we need a bit of this,
The Slytherins were in the lead for the House Cup by a lot of points. In fact, they seemed to be the only house that even had points. Lockie had been sick for the whole term and had to spend the whole time in the hospital wing.
Oh.
Why?
And also, just like...
just so you know, he was really sick.
Yeah, but also just had to spend the whole term, like, where are we in the term?
And the year.
Like, how long has he been there?
And how long has this book been going on for? I feel like we're in a time, space...
Continuum of some sort,
yeah, whatever.
Possibly.
The Slytherins were in the lead for that...
Oh, we already read that.
Oh, shit.
Whole time in the hospital wing.
Oh, shit. The strange dreams continued. Oh, because Lockie was having strange
dreams throughout the entire book, which we know nothing about.
Yeah. The hairy man would appear, and so would the top hat-wearing men with JWC on their blazers. The Jim Wilkins Choir.
Which we think it's the Jim Wilkins Choir.
Yeah. And then... For the first time, another student, but not one of the main boys. Gemini Jones. The dream immediately stopped.
Wow. And we do know from earlier in the book, back in chapter 2 or whatever fucking chapter that was,
whatever fucking chapter that was.
Gemini Jones and Lockie are identical in appearance. Some have speculated that Gemini and Lockie are long-lost twins, and I believe Amy, official correspondent of this show, said that Gemini is like the star sign for twins. But I claimed that I wouldn't have been that smart.
I don't think so either.
But
sorry.
It is interesting that Lockie appeared in the dream. Gemini appeared in Lockie's dream.
I'm going to go against that theory and say I just think it's a coincidence. People can look alike.
I think when you came on the first time, it was the sorting chapter, and there was characters like Hopeless McDonald's, and we made a bet that they wouldn't appear again, and so far they have not appeared.
Oh, that's agreed. I've been rooting for Hopeless McDonald's to come back.
Gemini Jones, though, has appeared.
Yeah, which I think I didn't think they would. Meanwhile, Derek was struggling to keep up with work.
With homework, I guess.
He just thought he'd work part-time.
He's got a part-time job at the bottle-o.
He was failing in all his subjects, and every time the boys talked to him, he seemed to ignore them or start singing louder than he usually would.
Some bizarre behaviour.
Which, doesn't Derek have doesn't he want to be their friend?
Derek does want to be their friend, yeah. So much weird stuff.
But singing, choir, there's something happening.
Something weird, yeah.
As time kept moving, and the time keeps moving, and the chapter keeps moving, but it doesn't seem like anything keeps happening. Time is moving, but the storyline is staying still.
I mean, you can't be disappointed in that. I think we made it quite explicit that this was a not random chapter.
That's true. As time kept moving, the boys started to forget about Mr. Charger, even though he was their teacher.
Yeah, you assume they had classes with him. They come in, welcome to Potions, guys.
Who are you?
Mr. Charger.
Mr. Charger.
Yes.
Charger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mr. Charger, you say. Is he
Is he been here all year?
Yeah. I don't think it is.
Does Hogwarts have subs? Like, if Snape calls in sick, does, Jim, who is
he's usually there.
He's a sub. G'day, guys. I'm just looking at the sheet. It says students to continue on with their idiot potions. Does that make sense to you guys?
Nah.
Nah, sir. We haven't started idiot potions. Well, that's what it says
here. It just says, can we just watch a movie instead? We're going to watch a movie. No, well, you said,
Yeah, but let's just watch Shrek or something, sir.
Look, I don't know. I used to teach at Durmstrang. Now I'm semi-retired.
You can't listen to your iPods because I don't want Dumbledore walking past and singing.
I do remember teachers filled in for other teachers because that's what happened with Lupin when he.
That's right. Yeah, and Snape filled in for Lupin. Yeah. Well, there you go. There's that miss. But then, who was teaching Lupin's classes?
Who was teaching Snape's classes? Well, Lupin was...
Lupin was teaching Snape's classes. No, Snape... Snape was teaching Lupin's classes. Who was teaching Snape's classes? Yeah,
maybe to hit a free. Free then. Snapey boy, put your feet up.
Okay, class, you can listen to your iPods. It's a special class, so you can listen to your iPods. I just remember at our school there was every time there was a sub, everyone would be like, "Sir, iPods!"
Yeah. For some reason, can we listen to our iPods now? Oh.
Now, if you're very young and don't know what an iPod is, an iPod was like the Spotify app, but just the Spotify app. Sort of.
What?
Well, I'm trying to modernise it for kids who wouldn't know what an iPod is, or even what, an MP3 player is. Basically, an iPod is basically like Spotify, but it's just Spotify. But you can't have every song ever.
No, you have to have them downloaded.
Yeah, on LimeWire.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, anyways, now I'm struggling with the fact that there are people that don't know what iPods are.
Surely. If you didn't know what an iPod was, and this can be our very first did you know this fact, if you don't know what an iPod is, send us in a message.
Send us in a message.
And your cock top shots.
Oh, God, no, because anyway.
No, don't send those. Sorry, no, don't send those.
Yeah, we've turned off.
Don't send those.
Those, probably. Okay.
I think we're nearly done.
I don't know.
They started to forget about...
Mr. Charger, Malboy and Boris. Lockie's dreams start to become less frequent.
Okay, things getting less random.
The boys are walking up to the hospital wing to see him. like they weren't before.
It's the first time.
Yeah.
It's been there all term.
He was coming out on this day.
Okay, so he's coming out of the hospital, we assume.
There was 2 weeks left of term, and the boys were already packing for home. But on the 5th of June, at exactly 3:24 p.m, the boys noticed something strange and decided to use up a chapter of this book to find out what it was.
Wow.
And that's the end of this chapter.
That's the end of the chapter, which was a chapter to just fill some pages.
Wow, exactly 3:24. So from memory, our high school finished at 3:25. So that was.
We did. So it's 1 minute before. Well, we don't know about Hogwarts though.
Yeah, that seems quite early to finish, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so they noticed something strange, but we don't even know where they noticed it. I don't even know.
And what's happening with the ill-fated measures? Like, what is going on?
As someone who has listened to, I think, almost all the episodes, so every part of this book, I still have no idea what is happening.
Yeah, me too. And, like, I wrote this book.
Like Blazers,
but it does feel like an author who has tried to plant seeds everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's a bad batch and none of the seeds are growing.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, Mailboy did get frozen in the lake back in chapter 4 and now he's back and explained what happened. Like, is that good?
Kind of explained it. It was so he just got frozen. But then we were like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a red herring the whole time. Like, I just feel like this chapter, you're really biding time. You're like, I have to keep writing. I have no idea how I'm going to finish this book yet.
Yeah.
Because I've got all these loose ends to tie up. And I'm going to try to tie them all up at the end in one chapter. And I feel like it's also going to be, it's just going to be it's all going to, I don't know.
But I guess
clusterfuck.
I guess that's a good reason for people to keep listening because you hope that at some point, kind of like, have you seen Knives Out?
No.
So Knives Out is a murder mystery. And at the end of the movie, Daniel Craig, who is the investigator, the Sherlock Holmes kind of character, cracks the code of who murdered the suspect, and it flashes back to all these different moments in the movie that shows what actually happened, right?
Right.
So I feel like maybe in the last chapter of this book, all of these things, the ill-fated measures, the shaft of light, Mailboy, Boris, this strange thing they saw at 3:24 p.m. Everything's going to be explained.
That's good. I can't wait for a chapter that goes on and on and on and has multiple flashbacks.
So this is what happened here.
And then the characters are all just standing in a circle talking to the narrator. Oh, that makes sense. Thanks, Mike. I mean, whoever you are.
Thanks for coming back, man. I'm so sorry.
What are you sorry about?
I don't know, I sensed during that you didn't want to be.
Oh, no. I think right at the end I started running out of energy. I was like, where is it all gone?
Yeah.
I feel like I've been...
cool, because it was so bang, bang, bang.
I feel like I was boring the listeners. That's what
I don't think that.
I think that's what I was doing.
That was really fun. Do you want to... You're still doing Tim and Sammy?
Yeah, Tim and Sammy podcast, at Tim and Sammy on your socials.
Yeah.
And that's really all I need to plug.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No, you're not doing any other shows coming up?
Thinking about it. Thinking about doing an extra little stand-up show, so you can follow me at Sam Garlepp on Instagram as well.
Sam,
and keep your ears and eyes posted.
And your nose is
pointed in my direction.
Yeah.
Because
sniff around.
Yeah.
So you might smell something related to Sam. There is no secret sniff competition from Sam coming. I don't know why I'm saying this. Alright.
I'm a scratch and sniff. Anyway. Alright, well thanks. We're going to cock-top out of here.
I just want to say, all the video versions of this pod are moving to a separate YouTube channel, which is Harry Potter and the Boys. By the time you hear this, that should be up. So go and YouTube search Harry Potter and the Boys. You can find all of that there. Goodbye, Hamoras.
And Accio.
The end of the podcast.
The end of the podcast.